start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and big topic is the same, constructive listening, and today's topic is a matter of intent. Okay, so let's see. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose is not violation of the prohibition against accepting Lashon Hara. Before taking any liberty of listening to such information, one must be sure that he will not be guilty of causing the speaker to sin. Okay, so let's read one more time and try to understand. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose, meaning that you're allowed to listen, you ask this person, let's say about shidduch, and you need some information, and you actually told them that you're inquiring about shidduch. So far so good. Okay. While listening to negative information for constructive purpose is not violation of prohibition against accepting Lashon Hara. So listening and accepting two separate things. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Before taking any liberty of listening to such information, one must be sure that he will not be guilty of causing the speaker to sin, meaning not to put a stumbling block in front of the blind, not to provoke that person. Continue. We have seen that in order to convey the pertinent information that would otherwise be considered Lashon Hara, several conditions must be met. For example, the speaker's intent must be to bring about the positive result. Positive result does not mean that he's not going to say like only things positive, right? Positive result meaning to alleviate the doubt of that person who is asking us, for example, where's the speaker question, right? To help him to prevent some kind of damage, right? Okay, so that's a positive result. Okay, next one. If the speaker does not have to constructive intent, his words are Lashon Hara, despite the fact that information is important to the listener to hear. So meaning this, so one more time, if the speaker does not have a constructive intent meaning that we hate that person for whatever reason, and somebody asks us about our opinion about that person, about his personality, so we're not allowed to answer. We're not allowed, right? We're not allowed to answer because whatever we said is not going to be for constructive purpose, but because of the, I mean, it is, even if it's going to be like for the benefit of the other person, that he's going to hear the truth, but our intent is not constructive. Our intent is to degrade that person, right? So if the speaker does not have constructive intent, his words are Lashon Hara, right? So it's very important, despite the fact the information is important to the listener to hear. So as we see, it depends of our intent. It's very, very interesting, right? In such a case, being a listener would be transgressor of before the blind person do not play stumbling block. Vayikra 19:14. Meaning what? That if you know that person hates hates that person that we're inquiring about, so we're not allowed to ask that person. Could you please mute your microphone, please? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Could you please mute it? Okay. If one is privately, so it's very interesting. So we're not allowed. So even that person would have the most amount of information, we're not allowed to ask him. Why? Because animosity between them. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then by coincidence a friend begins speaking Lashon Hara about that very individual, one is required to interrupt him and walk away. Okay. Since the speaker is unaware that the listener is doing business with this person, the speaker is talking Lashon Hara and must be stopped. After interrupting him, one may tell him that the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, and that he may continue speaking, provided that he can honestly relate it for the constructive purpose only. So, I mean, it's a little hypothetical case, but let's try to understand anyway. Very interesting. So one more time. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then, so nobody knows that I have a business with somebody else, then the third person comes, and he does not know that I have some kind of relationships with that person, right? Whom he is about to talk about. So meaning, maybe this information is pertinent to me. Maybe I would find out that that person is a crook, that I'm dealing business, and he just playing nice until he wants to do some damage, right? Okay, to me, right? So very, very possible. So one more time. If one is privately doing business with someone, and then by coincidence a friend begins speaking Lashon Hara about that very individual, so he does not know that it's for me it's constructive listening, right? Okay, so he start speaking Lashon Hara. One is required to interrupt him or walk away. So first of all, it's in general, even if I would not have any business with that person, we have to stop him or walk away. That's how you stop. Meaning, if nobody listening, so hopefully if he's a normal person, he's going to stop. Continue. Since the speaker is unaware that the listener is doing business with this person, the speaker is talking Lashon Hara and must be stopped. So even though the information might be permissible to me to hear, because I must know what to expect from that person, from my business partner, let's say, but this person, the speaker, does not know, right? I must stop him. After interrupting him, one may tell him the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, and then we said, you know what, stop right here. So I want to tell you, I'm in a business with this guy right now. I want to ask you a question. And you start asking questions, and he continue to give over this information that he started before, but now it's going to be for constructive purpose. Okay. So one more time, after interrupting him, one may tell him that the information he had begun to relate may be important to the listener, right? And that he may continue speaking provided that he can honestly relate it for that constructive purpose only, right? So you ask him to relate for constructive purpose only, and for me it's constructive because this and that. Very interesting. Okay, stop here. Any questions on what we said?